Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Managing Disruptive Change. Now, since we know companies that were disrupted and also successful adapters, let's look at where disruptions come from. So I'd like to give you some examples of disruptors. Actually, very popular examples of disruptors, which we know actually nowadays. Airbnb on the one hand and Uber on the other hand. Let's look closer at these two companies. Airbnb is in the accommodation industry. And the accommodation industry is a very, very traditional industry. I would consider that as the hotel industry, and the hotel industry has been there for many, many years, actually centuries, and actually in the same way. So it's very traditional without any major change happening there in the business model or whatever. We see slight changes and more comfort coming in and all sorts of things, but that's it. So changes in consumer preference towards more local experience and authentic interaction didn't really take place. Now Airbnb comes in, and Airbnb started totally different, but it disrupted this entire industry, because right now it's the largest home sharing network, actually without any physical property. All those hotel chains like Hilton or Westin or all the others, they have hotel property. Airbnb doesn't. The only thing what they do is they give the people the chance to rent and also to give their space away to others. Customers are mostly young leisure travelers, so those who can't afford these expensive hotel rooms, especially in large cities all over the world. And it gets popular all over the world, actually more popular every day. And it's, so to say, the largest accommodation chain nowadays. This is a typical disruption that took place. Another disruption is Uber. Uber started also in an industry which is very, very traditional, because the taxi industry has been there for about 100 years or more than 100 years, traditional with certified drivers and certified vehicles, and you have to have a license for that, and license in some countries is very expensive and also limited and so on. We all know the taxi industry. Many professors also know Uber, and Uber is basically starting to disrupt this industry, or disrupted this industry, by acting as an on-demand transportation service. So everyone basically can be an Uber driver. Just if you have a car, you can start registering at Uber and start being an Uber driver. They have a different pricing structure, and it's a dynamic, demand-based pricing. Not everybody likes that very much. With overall lower prices than we can see in the traditional taxi industry. It's very, very simple, and people don't need to have money anymore, so they can just order an Uber, they can hop in, hop out, and that's it. So this is how Uber disrupts the traditional taxi industry. A second example for a company that went into a very traditional industry, like a hotel industry, a taxi industry, and disrupted an entire industry. So what's the takeaway from this one? Well, first of all, the takeaway is that besides those two groups of companies, Kodak, Nokia, who were the companies which got disrupted, IBM and Starbucks, successful adapters, we have a third group of companies. And this third group, these are the disruptors, or the so-called disruptors. Companies that start with very, very little means. Airbnb, just two guys. Uber, a little more. And get very well-renowned companies all over the world out of that. So that's our first takeaway. It's not only the disrupted companies and the adapters, there's also another group of companies who go into traditional markets. But what's so special there? Let's look at that in the next chapter.